Hey, welcome back to the Marking Out Network. I am Dean Walker.
And I am Neil Pretty Boy Thomas here.
Your boy Cordell, a.k.a. Smoke.
How's everybody feeling tonight?
Woo.
What is that? How you feeling?
I'm feeling wrestling exhaustion.
Why is that?
Too much going on, man. It's,
Too much?
With Collision now, I mean, it's hard to keep up. There's a lot of shit going on nowadays, man.
Do you feel like there's too much wrestling on television?
I feel like I'm going to get hate, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, are you guys feeling exhausted, or are you guys like down? Like every time it comes on, you're like, I'm ready for it.
I'm feeling underwhelmed.
Are you so you don't necessarily are not burnt out by the amount of wrestling, but just the content of wrestling itself?
Yeah, like
I
don't have like any hobbies. I don't have time for hobbies because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. It's only day I have free are Thursday nights, I guess. Right?
I gotta say, doing a wrestling podcast, I get wrestling fatigue. Like I am to watch literally everything. It's a second fucking full-time job.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I do it either. I try to watch. Oh, by the way, there is something on Thursdays, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
Thursdays,
Yeah.
I can't imagine
Honor Club,
else.
everybody. Honor Club. Watch it. It's
I'm
really
sure there's
good.
some indies.
Yeah.
Some indies going around.
I'm sure there's other stuff going on, too, on Thursdays that we're really not aware of. But
I don't own the damn company. I don't care. I don't care. I don't own the company.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Which company is he talking about?
They're talking about a certain company.
I don't know.
They
I don't
throw
know.
shots, these invisible shots that they miss all the time.
I just know that
at
they're
me because they think that I care about a certain company and I don't.
But I don't think there's any company, especially on Thursdays, that make a big enough impact to be featured on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely agree. That's 100% true.
But you know what could be featured?
We're not featured on anyone's show, by the way.
What could be featured is
we would take anything that anyone gives us.
we got some tribal court stuff going on. The court is in session.
Yes.
And we are the jury to that court.
SmackDown tonight was a big fucking episode. Roman Reigns is on trial. Tribal chief, tribal court. Jay calls him out. Jimmy calls him out. You know what? Let's backtrack a little bit. I didn't understand the whole premise and the purpose of this whole trial session. So to me, the point was Jay and Jimmy showing highlights of Roman Reigns being a dictator, like being overbearing, being too aggressive, and demeaning the Usos in every single way. That's what they were trying to convey. My thing is, we already know all that stuff. So what are they trying to? Are they trying to convince themselves? Are they trying to paint Roman as a bad guy? What was the purpose in all this? Like, we know, we've seen the footage. You don't have to remind us of this all the time. I felt like it was it necessary? I guess it was a good way to catch up for everybody and to say, hey, yeah, Roman has been playing Jimmy and Jay like a fiddle and using them and taking advantage of them and demeaning them in every single way. But to me, it wasn't really necessary. Like, you could have disregarded this trial and still had the feud ongoing. If you just omitted this but just kept it going, Jimmy, Jay versus Roman and Solo, I think it would have been okay. But it was very popular. People seem to like it. By the way, it went on for 40 minutes. 40 fucking minutes this went on. Maybe 38. Maybe I'm going a little high here. 38 minutes for an opening segment. That's a long fucking time. But did it convey the message that they were trying to deliver? And I think it did. And now I have to say, Smoke, tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why. Please tell me why was Jay so gullible as to believe that Roman would actually hand him over to be the tribal chief? Why would Jay be so willing to accept that? Because the tradition says that Roman is a liar and he's a manipulator. Even Michael Cole said that. So why would Jay be like, yeah, Roman, I'll take what you're going to give me?
Probably because he had a little bit of more faith in Roman this time. You know, just a little faith that Roman would do the right thing since he was properly pinned, and the crowd didn't forget to make mention of it, that he was pinned after such a long time of being undefeated, and I think Jay probably thought, you know what, he'll bow down like a man and give this whole thing up, which I'm not sure why he thought that, because history has shown Roman ain't gonna bow down to nobody.
Roman was not humble at all. He was putting on the act. He was putting on the facade. He was putting on the fake crying. Like, I don't want this anymore. That's the thing though too. He's like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this responsibility. I've done everything in my power to help Jay, Jimmy, Solo, and the whole entire family, but I'm tired of it. I want to give this to you now because apparently you have a hard-on for this. You want to be the tribal chief. You want to be the champion. You want to be everything that I am currently. But he's a liar and he's a manipulator, and that's some narcissistic, psychopathic behavior.
Let me ask you something. I've been seeing a lot of comments about this being one of the greatest storylines to ever hit WWE. Would you have to agree? Do you think like Roman played his part tremendously?
I'm gonna say Roman. They all played their part tremendously. Roman was the main character in this story. Everybody else are basically side characters, but he's played this tremendously. And now, when it comes to the greatest WWE storyline of all time, I can't say that it's the greatest of all time just because it's the latest.
Yeah.
Just because it's the greatest doesn't make it the latest. Like, everybody wants to say LeBron James the greatest of all time. Well, you know what? There was a lot of guys before him that were better. Just because he has these records and he did all these accomplishments doesn't he make him the best. The same thing with this storyline. People that are saying this is the greatest storyline of all time, they didn't live through Austin McMahon.
Yeah.
I did. To me, that's the greatest storyline of all time because people think they're hooked on this bloodline storyline. That pales in comparison how Austin and McMahon were going at each other. It wasn't even as long, but it was must-see TV times 10. It was fantastic.
I feel like the bloodline didn't even really, besides like Sami Zayn and a few others, they didn't really go outside of their family tree. Meaning that all drama was in-house. All their drama was in-house, and it was completely within each other in their own family feud, and which I kind of like it, and it was great storytelling only because it started off in-house.
It did.
And it kind of remained in-house, too. They never really beefed with Vince McMahon. They didn't beef with Triple H or any authority figures, to be exact. But they definitely kept everything was in-house, and anybody who infiltrated what they had going on, that's when you got, no pun intended, that's when they got the smoke. And they were, I feel like they played this story well. I feel like they told the story they wanted to tell, and they're now finishing like the ending chapters to everything.
I completely agree with 100%, but it just felt it's crazy to think about how this story started and where we're ending up. And I honestly,
but I would have to disagree with you on something.
I didn't think it was going to end up being this big of a storyline. What do you want to disagree about?
I don't think Roman Reigns was the main character.
Then who's the main character?
I think the main character has been Jey Uso all along.
I disagree completely.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between a main character and a catalyst. So you can have shows all the time TV shows all the time that have amazing main characters, and then your catalyst, the one who draws you in, is like the entertainment and the focal point of the show, but they are not the main character. Your catalyst is the one who brings you back week after week.
I just think I get what you're saying, but I think people want to see Jay succeed so much. They root for him. But Roman was the one that essentially started this off. He would be the center of the universe. Jay would be the closest one next to him, or revolving.
But who was the one trying to stop him?
It's been Jay.
Yeah.
But
who was the one Sami Zayn had the most conflict with?
It was with Jay.
Who was the one that the bloodline, Jimmy and Solo and Paul Heyman all kind of wanted to ice out, include, or wait for his approval on certain things to see how he moves?
Oh, it was with Jay, his reaction to how Roman was.
It was his reaction to how Roman was. It was his reaction to how Sami Zayn was. It was his reaction to how Jimmy and Solo reacted to his reactions.
Yes.
He is our protagonist.
Yes. I mean, you make a really good case, but to me, none of this would exist without Roman Reigns.
The catalyst.
Yeah, nothing would exist. And now, if you would, so would Roman Reigns be the Negan or would he be the Rick Grimes? And Jay would be either Negan or Rick.
Jay is Negan.
Okay.
Jay is Negan.
Jay's Negan. Roman Reigns is Rick. Okay.
I see Roman as the main character for like season 1 through 3, you know, and then Jay's gonna be the main character season 4. Shit's about to turn. You know,
season 1
bigger.
through 3. That's when one of the main characters decides to leave the show and they have to bring someone else up.
Yeah. By the way, after Rick Grimes left The Walking Dead, I stopped watching.
Pretty much, me too.
Yeah.
What season was that? Because I stopped season.
That was
7.
after season.
Was it 4?
No, 8.
5, 8.
8.
Damn, I forgot it's been on for that long.
Yeah. They're actually doing spin-offs too now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't want to put that much into it, but I definitely believe that
You make valid points though.
I feel like
you almost convinced me.
I just feel like Jay is the protagonist. He's the one. Now, mind you, it's a different. We've had discussions off camera about who's the guy and who's not the guy. Jay is not the guy, I think, to take the titles off of him, but I think he is the guy to be the one who brought down the bloodline.
That's actually
we're not talking about who brought down Roman. We're talking about who's bringing down the bloodline.
That's an interesting point too, because now Jay on SmackDown, when it was about to go off the air, issued a challenge to Roman Reigns. Now we all thinking obviously they're going to be. This has been painted on the wall for a long time. It's going to be Jay and Roman Reigns. Now my question is this: we've been through this story before. Sammy, everybody's like, hey, Sammy's got to be the one to defeat Roman Reigns, right? Nope. Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody's got to be the one to do it. He's got to be the one to do it.
Not only him, you're missing one before both of them.
Was it KO? Lesnar? Lesnar. Didn't happen. Now, we're here. We keep going through this pattern, this cycle.
Yeah.
Now, we're coming back to Jay. Now, is Jay going to be the one to defeat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam? Hell fucking no. I'm sorry to break the ice to you.
But you know who will be?
But he's not going to be the one to do it.
But you know who will be?
Who?
Big Papa Rock.
Big Papa Rock. We could talk about him another time, man.
Big Papa Rock.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't. No.
After Roman beats Jay at SummerSlam, that's when it's gonna happen. Because he gonna say I went through him.
What?
He gonna say I went through him, and not one person has came. He was like, not one person in this
Where you
family.
getting this from? What? Where's it? There's no indication of The Rock is coming back. You friends with him?
You don't need the indication. The indication is
not even close, man.
If you need an indication, then it wouldn't be a surprise.
No.
I'm telling you, that's what they've been waiting for, man.
They are not waiting for that.
This is what they've been doing.
So it's gonna be
Triple H said himself, I got something better than
I don't believe anything Triple H says. No.
Well, I told you that months ago, and you were fighting me on that. But anyways,
no. What I wanted to say this: all these guys, Sami Zayn had his WrestleMania moment at Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
So Selena Vega, she had her WrestleMania moment in Puerto Rico against Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
This is gonna be Jay's main event WrestleMania moment at SummerSlam.
So who would be after Jay?
That's a really good question. I think they're going to probably insert other guys, I don't know if, man, it's really hard to say if you're going to slip Bobby Lashley, you're going to slip McIntyre. I don't know. Everything's going to be a placeholder until, I hate to say it, it feels like we're going down this road again way too many times. It's going to be Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40. That's what people are saying. That's what it's going to be. Whose phone is ringing?
Oh. I actually don't know. This is actually a spam number. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, to drink to that. So Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40.
Or the Legend Killer.
The story is finally going to... Hey, good point. I want to see Randy Orton come back.
I didn't make that one. Dean did, though.
All right, Dean, what do you think about Randy Orton facing Roman Reigns? Even if it's just a side mission, it's okay. We want to see it.
I was actually, I was waiting to bring that one up too, man. I was thinking, when you guys were like, who else is there? I was like, well, Orton is supposed to be coming back soon, right? Yep. So, I mean, but then the question is when? It's like, when's the moment to pull the trigger on Orton, though? Where would you guys want to see him in a pay-per-view match? Like,
better question is, do you want to see Orton come back as a heel or a face?
If he's facing Roman, he's going to have to be face.
Obviously.
But
Would you want to see him turn on Matt Riddle, by the
I
way?
would love to see Orton heel. Is that still a thing though? Like, are they gonna?
They
get
can
back
revisit
together?
it.
I feel like they gonna come back and they just gonna
Like Orton's gonna come back. He's gonna make.
he's
his
just gonna do his
return,
own thing.
and then Riddle's gonna come on by with his scooter, go Randy, and then Orton's gonna be like, ah ha ha, RKO. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I don't.
in that chapter.
And I think
Okay.
with the thing with Orton is he's always been a tweener. You can't make him a complete heel because people want to cheer him, but he does. He's a face that does heelish things, and I think that's the way to go with Orton. When he comes back, they can revisit the RKO thing or RK Bro, but I think it's gonna be Randy Orton being a more or less face, and I don't think that RK Bro thing's gonna fly anymore. I don't want to see them together anymore either. To be honest, man. I'm fucking tired of Riddle, man. I can't stand him, man. I really can't. I'm tired of Riddle.
He don't even hit the same no more.
No, he doesn't.
Do you feel like Riddle and Riddle? He feels kind of the same way as another guy, an AEW guy, Sammy Guevara. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's different.
But you had all this huge hype for him, and then it maybe is his personal life coming through, or there's a vibe that's off. Sammy, I don't feel the same about Sammy, and a lot of people found him annoying after a while. You know, I mean, I love.
He's talking about Sammy Guevara?
Yeah, like he's great. He's great.
Yeah.
But people started to get, for some reason, turned off by the dude and annoyed by him for some reason, and I feel like people are feeling that way about Riddle too.
I think what he was doing was intentional. He was trying to be obnoxious because he was in the JAS and he was trying to garner a lot of heat. It was like, fuck you, Sammy. We went to the AEW events. He would literally just come out and people would boo the crap out of him.
No, but like even on Twitter, people were like, I just don't want to see him on TV. Like, I really don't care.
You know what? It was I hate to say it though too, but it was with Tay Conti too. It was their relationship and them throwing it in everybody's faces. It rubbed a lot, constantly like making out on camera.
So he's doing his job though. Then,
and
right?
posting all these like, I just had sex, and then it's just like with the belt and stuff like that. People don't want to see that shit, man. They just don't. It was obnoxious, and he got a lot of hate for it. But it was more like, just go away. We don't want to see you on TV to hate you. We just want you to leave at that point.
Yeah, you don't want that kind of heat.
Yeah, and it was bad.
A little too much.
But now it's kind of flipped though too. Now that they're expecting him and Tay Conti, people softened up a little bit on him, and I think he's gonna be okay. It seems like he's maturing a little bit now. Maybe that's what fatherhood's gonna do to him. He doesn't seem as obnoxious, and he seems like he's kind of growing up. I know he's like 27, but it seems like he's still kind of growing up in front of our eyes. He's getting rid of that immature side of him that he had before, and now he's being more adult-like, I guess you can say. I don't really know, but it seems like the heat's been off him for a little bit now.
Can we talk about Karrion Kross real quick?
What's to talk about?
Exactly.
All right, cool.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. So Karrion Kross had a match on SmackDown against AJ Styles. 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Is that the time? Something like that?
That's
And
unfortunate.
Neil, what was it? He got no entrance? That's a bad sign.
Yeah, Karrion Kross didn't get his entrance on television, and they cut it off midway. They cut off his total entrance, not even on TV. I saw fan footage of him coming out, doing his whatever he was doing, and then right when he comes to the ring with Scarlett, it completely went black. So they cut off his entrance in front of the live crowd. Now, that's what I saw from the video. I might be looking at the video. I don't know what it is, but it seems like you have an entrance that's not shown on television, and you only get 3 minutes, not even 4 minutes against AJ Styles. Now, granted, AJ Styles just went up against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title not too long ago. You knew, I was going to say Scarlett, Karrion Kross was not going to win this fucking match, but 7, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, you think he's worthy enough to go against AJ Styles for that amount of time, and he loses to the phenomenal forearm, which I'm pretty certain many guys have kicked out of before. That's not even AJ Styles' finisher. That's the signature or the prelude to the Styles Clash. And wow, that is bad. And honestly, man, I forgot he was on SmackDown. Like, I forgot sometimes even on the fucking roster. I'm sorry, man, but this Karrion Kross, I don't know why he came back. This Karrion Kross experiment has failed miserably. Don't care about him. I think he's a boring wrestler. He's uninteresting. His promos do not hit the same. I don't know what people see in him. I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. But if I was gonna fire Cross, which I'm gonna do, I'll keep Scarlett.
So I think you answered all of your questions with that ending point. Scarlett is what's keeping him, what hires him, and what makes everything interesting about him. I mean, when you say that they cut his entrance, and that's what he's usually known for, is their entrance, you know they done with you, bro.
Yeah.
They done with you, man, because it's like their entrance is the only thing that really gets people going.
I like the entrance. That's the thing. That's the only thing I found interesting about him.
And then after the entrance, it goes, oh, okay, he's in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, it goes, he's in the ring. And you know what's odd? This is kind of a repeated history to where, okay, he got let go the first time, right?
Yes.
He got let go the first time, and I think she was let go a few weeks afterwards due to, you know, him being her husband and you know, out of respect for him. But this happened at another company that Dean tries to act like
doesn't exist.
This happened.
This is the only company they've been at.
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about.
got it.
This is where they started.
This is where they started. Got it.
Yeah.
They're homegrown talent.
Well,
I thought.
They left for a while, went on vacation, came back.
Came back. Got you.
Yeah.
Well, let's say hypothetically,
yeah.
there was another company out there that impacted their careers.
AEW? No, right?
I thought they were New Japan.
AEW.
I don't know their
There's
life.
only like 2 others.
I don't know their life. But
Couldn't have been impactful.
this is actually something that happened prior where Karrion got,
Crossed.
well, he was released.
Yes.
Like that now?
And this is what this was worse. He got released and they kept Scarlett, and they didn't even have her involved in the women's matches. They had her doing intergender matches, fighting for titles and shit.
Damn.
When your wife is outdoing you, and I guarantee you he threatened her to quit her job at that other place too. Not threatened her, I won't say that, but I can guarantee you he implied that he had a problem with her keeping that job, and she had to leave that one too because she asked for her release from that
he's like,
company
no,
too.
I'm happy for you. I'm proud for you.
Yeah.
That's so
and,
great.
and just to check this out, he checks all the boxes. Is he a big, strong, physical, imposing guy? Yes. Is he a safe worker? Yes. Have I heard anything bad about him once ever? No. Does he cause drama backstage? No. Is he a bad guy? No. He might be actually a really
This is not
likable
personal.
guy.
It's not personal.
But he is boring as shit in the ring, man. He has no drawing potential whatsoever. Now, a lot of guys are, I'm gonna say, they are like that. They're talented, but they do not draw. They don't bring you in, man. His promo work is very
They don't sit butts in
forgettable.
seats.
Yes, they do not sit butts in seats. And then his promo work, which I thought would be a standout, which would finally get him over, has not worked. And I'm sorry, this whole thing is an epic failure. And I'm sorry, you got to cut ties with this guy right now, man. I hate saying somebody's got to lose their job, but he's just taking up time. Proof is in the pudding. You don't think he's worthy enough because you just showed that he's not worthy enough.
It seemed like Scarlett has taken a backseat too. It's like she
don't do anything.
It's like she don't do anything no more. And I guarantee you that wasn't even her decision either. That was probably something he told her to do. And I'm just guessing. I don't know you guys outside of this, but I'm just saying.
By the way, Scarlett can wrestle because I saw some of her her indie, Impact matches. They're actually pretty good. I saw one that I reposted. It was Scarlett and Shotzi.
Yeah.
It was really good. I was like, damn, where is this at?
That's when Shotzi.
Where is this
that's
stuff
when
at?
Shotzi was signed with that company, and that's
I was like,
how
damn,
I saw her first.
This was like a damn fine good. That was one of the better matches I've seen recently in the women. And I was like, what the fuck, man?
She's actually really good. She's actually really good. in that ring.
WWE does not want to showcase the women in this light for whatever reason, man. They do
I
not want
guarantee you,
to.
if she was to have a match today, that they would make it seem like she didn't know what she was doing.
Oh yeah, like rookie, sloppy, and it would be.
She's
not
actually
convincing.
really good. She was power bombing men and shit like that, man. I think I hate to say this, but it's better to have one breadwinner and none at all than none at all. If I knew my time was coming short, I'd be like, all right, boo, I need you to get up front. I need you to do your thing. I need you to be champ, and I need you to bring home that money.
I just see
wrong scenario.
Sure,
I was gonna say Natalia does it for TJ, but
I'll be surprised if Karrion Kross is around in 6 months. I'll be surprised if he's around in 3 months. I'll be surprised if he's around in a month,
But
man.
they would be a fool to let Scarlett go. But she's going to go wherever he goes.
Of course, I think she has more value because when she came out with him in his entrance, granted, I like the entrance, the totality of it, and their entire package and their visual presentation. But man, my eyes were always drawn on Scarlett. I was always looking at her because why do you think they had 50 motherfucking camera cuts to her during his matches? They were trying to get her like what she looked like in her reaction to what he was doing in the ring. Doesn't that tell you something about that too? It just to me, man, the writing's on the wall. This is probably I don't know if it's the nail in the coffin here, man, but it ain't looking good, man. His stock is definitely plummeting, man. It's like cryptocurrency, man. It's going on the way down. And it's bad to say, but oh well, man, shit happens. People get fired and hired all the time in real life too. So, all right, he'll be all right.
So you said this other company. I don't know what you were talking about, but I'll ignore that.
It doesn't pay to be a hater.
Sure.
Anyway, I know that we had Austin Theory defend. I don't know if he was defending his title or just a singles match. I'll be honest, but it was against Sheamus. Yada yada.
He was defending his title against Sheamus. Okay, I got a couple problems with this one. By the way, Austin Theory has done not a goddamn thing since WrestleMania. And how do you win against John Cena at WrestleMania and still struggling to find yourself, to find your character? When
He's still young. Got time.
He keeps saying that. There's a lot of dudes that are younger that actually are probably better.
MJF.
I mean, yeah, but everyone marches to the beat of their own drum.
Everybody's gonna hit their
time.
stride. I'm seeing the same thing said about him. He's a very generic heel with no character and no personality, and you're starting to see that now. Is he eventually going to find himself? Yes. Christian improved on his promos. Jungle Boy said his promo work wasn't that great, but it seems like him turning heel is the way to go with him. But I'm just saying, I forgot Austin Theory sometimes the United States champ. Is it just me?
It's not just you.
Nah,
No.
look at how they changed Gunther in his Intercontinental title reign. His historic and his dominant. Austin Theory, I said it before. We said this on the podcast before. It was too much too soon.
They made him
He was not ready.
And they made him a goof.
They made him a goof, and Vince McMahon was pushing him to the fucking moon. I'm like, what are they doing? This is not going to work. And it hasn't worked. He's been the same. He's just been kind of spinning his wheels over and over again since WrestleMania.
Is it bad that I feel like his fan base has dropped?
What fan base?
He had a fan base, and I feel like it's dropped. The people who did support him, I feel like no longer support him, no longer care about anything that he's had to do. I think that they want the title off of him. I know that they want 100%. The title off of him. It just sucks to see that they put so much energy into someone and then it's not really hitting the same.
I just keep going back to what we were talking about WrestleMania, man. I was like, this match with John Cena is not going to amount to a hill of beans.
You did say that.
And he's actually gotten worse. He actually is fallen off even further from
he kind of got buried.
I would say so too. And okay, here's another thing too. After the long ass Bloodline segment, almost 40 minutes, this United States title match was second. The second match on the card, that doesn't really bode well. I don't want to be the second fucking match. I either want to be the first match or the last match or the match at the top of the hour. And I want to be the match before the main event or the match after the long ass segment, unless you're RVD because he always came out first. But that's the way I would want to go. But Austin Theory, he's not improving. He's not showing any depth. He's not showing any development, and he's just spinning his wheels. And I hope he drops the title at SummerSlam. Who he's going to drop the title to, I hate to say this too. I'm thinking now it's going to be LA Knight. It's got to be LA Knight because he's a great mouthpiece. He could work just as well as Austin Theory. Yeah, he's a little older. Doesn't really matter. But I think LA Knight, if you want to elevate that title, it's going to be him. But we're going to come to find out that later.
Yeah, on my SummerSlam prediction card I just uploaded, I wasn't sure where to put LA Knight after the Money in the Bank loss, so I figured most likely they're gonna. I don't know if it was just a prediction. I think it's gonna be Theory versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam, and then somehow LA Knight's gonna be inserted triple threat maybe.
So we got 2 triple threats on the card now.
I guess so. Guess we'll see.
You sound like fucking Smoke over here, man. God damn it,
triple
man.
threats,
WrestleMania 39 was literally 9 matches of triple threats,
and it would have been better.
Okay,
it would have been better.
But logically, you can't have every match a triple threat.
Says who?
You can't, because it's never been done ever.
Exactly.
Just because it's never been done, there's a reason why it's never been done.
Doesn't mean it can't be done. And let's be honest here, WWE can't prove to me that WWE cannot prove to me that my triple threat mania wouldn't have been better.
I'm sure,
because they had a Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view.
Yeah, and it sucked.
It wasn't the best.
It sucked. You can't base a paper around the match. How many people are in a match?
No, you have to base it around the storyline and how many people are involved in that match.
But not. Your idea of a storyline is just to make it a triple threat. Doesn't gonna make it better.
No, I didn't say it made it better. But I said during that time and that specific mania, it should have been a triple threat.
All right, Smoke. Whenever you have your own wrestling promotion, just call it Triple Mania. Even though I think that's a promotion or a event down in Mexico, so you'd have to call it something else. Triple Threat Mania.
Triple Threat Promotion.
Triple Threat Promotions.
Okay,
you can do it that way. You can do it that way.
I will, and it'll be better than any shit they've been dropping the last few years.
Yeah, of course. All right.
This is if you guys didn't notice, the ones who are watching or listening, it's very SmackDown based. Monday Night Raw, there wasn't really much to talk about. That was great. Unless you guys want to talk about Natalya and Rhea Ripley. Nobody?
Smoke.
What you got?
Smoke wants to talk Natty and Rhea, man, on Monday Night Raw, right?
I do.
Yeah, you got a whole essay written about it, right? Or something like that. No, it's ridiculous. And we don't want to talk about that shit. Natalya might be getting it again, another match, and
no, she's not. She's not.
What's going on?
Can I just say what I need to say and then call it quits?
Yeah,
sure. Go ahead.
I personally think I want to see this title off of Rhea Ripley now.
I don't think it's Rhea's fault though. I think she just has no competitors that are actually
I just want to see it off.
There.
I want to see it off. I just feel like it didn't do what they thought it was going to do. I know it's still pretty early, but I want to see it off.
It's not really early. It's been since WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania SummerSlam.
Oh shit, that's been that long.
Yeah, WrestleMania SummerSlam is a good chunk of change, man.
It's just I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see it off of her. I'd rather see her chase the title than actually have it.
Sometimes the chase is better.
The chase is better.
Yeah.
Becky granted, Becky called her out. Was like, you're just nothing but a side piece, and that's what Rhea is, man. Now, when Rhea's in the ring, her matches that she's actually had and give them time, her WrestleMania match with Charlotte was, can we say, probably the best women's match of the year? I'm just, maybe, could it be? I don't know.
Yeah. It's a contender.
It's definitely a contender, right? Now her match with Natalya. Natalya. Where do we even begin with her, man? It's hard to say, too, because
I don't even know if we should begin.
We can begin.
We can just get.
We can acknowledge her because she had. We can throw some respect on you when you do something good. We're not gonna diminish and shit all over just because we can, just because we're like that. But if Natalya and Rhea Ripley had a really good match, which they did, they actually gave her time, and Natalya said that was one of her favorite matches of all time. If that made her personally feel good, great. But do I want to see Natalya and Rhea Ripley in a 15-minute match on Monday Night Raw? No, I do not, because I want to see Rhea against better opponents. Doesn't mean I don't respect Natalya. Doesn't mean I don't have an appreciation for what she's done to the women's division all these years. It doesn't mean that. But I want to see Rhea up against other females. What other females are you talking about, Neil? I don't know, but it's not Natalya. It's
then who is it?
It's just not, man.
Then who is it?
The problem is they overloaded the SmackDown roster with too much talent, and then they didn't give Raw anything. I want to see the Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley. I guess they're going to pocket that one and save that one for later. I don't know when that's going to come about because it looks like it's going to be Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. We're not going to get Rhea and Becky at SummerSlam. I want to see Rhea versus Bianca. They're going to pocket that until WrestleMania because that's a WrestleMania event. We've already seen Rhea versus Charlotte. Do I want to see Rhea versus Bayley? No, I don't. It's just, it's really hard to say. I want to see Rhea up against other talent that's not Natalya, but it seems like I want to see Rhea versus Raquel. What's the problem with Raquel? She's fucking boring. She has no character. Her back's her character, which hasn't got over, by the way, because nobody cares about that stuff. I want to see a version of Raquel that's a threat to Rhea, and this Raquel doesn't seem like she is. So to answer your question, Smoke, I want to see Raquel and Rhea run it back like how they did in NXT, but I don't think it's going to be that way. You built Rhea up to be this powerhouse, this eradicator. All right, you built the heel up. Now you have to build the faces up. They haven't done that, Raquel, because they essentially diminished her because they put her in a tag team division, which essentially doesn't make you as relevant if you're a tag team competitor in the singles division. You can't have it both ways, man, because you're focusing on one thing and then you're going to try to build her up to be a threat to Rhea Ripley. To me, that doesn't make sense, but I do want to see that match, and I think it'll be a really good match, but man, it's just like sometimes like WWE, especially when they're booking the women's division now, it's just been fucking awful, man. We didn't talk about the SmackDown segment. By the way, everything felt rushed because of the 40-minute Bloodline segment. You had Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte come out with Io with a fake cash-in that lasted about 2 minutes. You're telling me you have all this female talent stacked up on SmackDown, and it was, to me, I didn't like it at all. It was garbage, man. It was terrible. I didn't like this at all, man. Nothing is gelling. Nothing is clicking. You're not giving these women any time to cut promos and develop, and Asuka just comes out like you're not ready for Asuka and everything's rushed, man. It's just not good right now, man. It's almost criminal. It's almost a crime of what they're doing in the women's division, and it's really sad to say, but hey, kudos for Natalya to having one good match with Rhea Ripley on Monday Night Raw, right?
So, last thing I wanted to get into, Edge made his big return.
Yep.
And kudos to Grayson Waller, man. Can you imagine having your debut match on the main roster against a guy like Edge?
That's incredible.
That's
really
That's
impressive.
insane.
He'll be able to look back on that for years to come.
Yep.
That is something like, even like I as a kid dreamed about. I'm like, dude, I would want to face Edge on SmackDown. That's dope.
It's an honor. Grayson Waller is actually more entertaining than Austin Theory. I feel like he'll go far. I feel like he's kind of what Austin Theory should be, and he's not there yet.
Yep.
I feel like Jason. I feel like he'll be. That's call him Jason. I feel like Grayson will be the one to execute it.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
Execute whatever they're trying to do with Austin Theory. I think he will execute it properly.
Yeah. I think Austin Theory, to me, he might be a better in-ring wrestler. Maybe a little bit. But Grayson Waller has the personality, he has the mic skills, and he has the charisma and a way about him. I mean, shit, man. They put him with John Cena last week, and now Edge this week, and then Grayson Waller having his debut match on SmackDown in a sold-out Madison Square Garden against Edge. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. If you're a kid and you're like, hey, we're going to give you this match, of course you would take it. That's even in a loss. Now, everybody's saying, well, it can potentially bury him. Well, some people would say that, but I completely disagree with that too. To me, that's something that's Waller's going to look back on and be like, yep, he used that as motivation. He used that to propel him even further in his career, because everybody's going to start out a certain way in their career. Not everybody starts out really hot. You got to kind of pay your dues and all that kind of stuff. But it seems like Waller, man, Edge said it too in his promos, like somebody in the back actually likes you, and they're putting you up against the big dogs. And are you going to either, sink or swim? And even during the match, Waller was like, sink or swim, sink or swim, sink or swim. And now, during the loss, Waller defeated. It was actually a really good match, by the way. Edge still got it. Waller, obviously, is super young and talented and can perform. And then Edge said, you swam. And that's a way to put him over, even in a loss. Now, would it have been better for Waller to win the match? Maybe. But we're talking about Edge here, man, who's celebrating his 25th anniversary of being in WWE. And he's on his home. He's coming around third base, man. He's hitting that home plate really, really soon here. Who he's going to face. And I want to ask you guys this, too. Talking about Edge, I don't know when his career is going to end. Maybe WrestleMania 40. Don't really know when the clock is going to strike midnight. Who do you guys want to see Edge face in his final match? Smoke, who do you think? Who do you want to see Edge face in his last match in his WWE career?
It's only one guy right now who is even worthy to face Edge, and that would be Randy Orton. And then, yeah, I think he needs to finish off with WWE with Randy Orton, and then head over to AEW so he can be with Christian just one last time.
E&C, baby, E&C.
Just one last time.
All right, Dean, what do you think? Edge's last match, you going with Orton too?
Yeah, man, I'm going to say Orton because there's a lot of guys want to put over young talent, right? But there comes a time where you got to have at least some sort of like fun match you can look back on, like Undertaker and Shawn Michaels or Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. I mean, you got to have these matches where it's like, it's more than putting someone over. It means something, you know. And Edge in his last run, he's already put over a lot of guys.
He has.
So I say in his last match, I think it should be more focused on Edge instead of putting some other guy over. So we should put Edge over. We should have him face Orton. You know, another guy you can think of. I mean,
I was thinking Mysterio.
Yeah, that could work.
Rey Mysterio. I know you're not a huge fan, but even John Cena and Edge, they had some stuff, but
I just worry about
honestly,
the quality of the match.
Yeah,
with him
it would
and
be
Cena.
too slow. It'd be too
Yeah.
clunky. I would say, but Orton and Edge, man, that's right down that lane, man. That's perfect.
We want to see Orton back too, man. I feel like it's weird for me because I was never an Orton guy, but it feels like now I'm appreciating him 20 years later. It's crazy, man. I did not like him from like, Evolution. I did like Orton in the whole group. When he became the Viper, you know, his 09, 08 run or whatever, when he was very sinister and he shaved his fucking head and he had like a 20 pack. I didn't appreciate him then either. But it's weird now that when his kind of like his last hurrah, even though he's not on his last hurrah, because we're not going to assume on injury and how his back is doing because we have no fucking idea. But it just seems like now I'm more of an Orton fan than I ever was before. He's gotten better on the mic because let's face it, his mic skills were okay at best. They weren't that great, but they weren't terrible. But I feel like Orton and Edge would be a great send-off for Edge. And then who knows, man? They can maybe Edge will induct Orton in the Hall of Fame one day. I think that'd be good too. I think for some reason their careers are very, you know, they've aligned each other very well because they've been around almost as long as one or the other has. So I feel it's a good send-off too. But Edge versus Orton, I'll be happy with that. But just don't call it the world's greatest match. Just don't do that.
No. All right. What about this? Kind of a random last question. Who would retire Randy Orton? Who can you see retire Randy Orton?
Man, it's just because he's been around such a long time. All the guys that he's faced are like gone.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be Batista.
It can't be Batista.
Not Triple H.
It's not Triple H. It's not Ric Flair.
John Cena and him had a ton of matches, but
John Cena and Randy Orton really had one of the best rivalries of all time in wrestling. They went at it back and forth, but it's not going to be them.
Be in a match, but is it going to be good?
Yeah,
be all right.
I don't feel like John Cena would be like, I'm not going to give you probably what you want and what that last match is going to need to be. So it's really hard, man. Randy Orton
or his last match, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes.
That could be good.
That might be good too.
It's not bad.
You know what? A name that popped up in my head for some reason, even though they don't really have it necessarily history, but they do have a WrestleMania match with Seth Rollins.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because it could be a really good match, and I think your last match needs to be satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one with the really big RKO, right?
Yeah, you need to have a satisfying match, but you also want to have your last match that you've had a history with, like Batista and Triple H. But it's really hard to say for Randy Orton, man. Because he's been around such a long time. All the guys are gone now, or retired. They can't wrestle anymore, or be up to a certain standard. None of the young guys, that's for sure. You don't want a Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin.
Nope.
No. Can't believe that happened.
Man, I would have put him if you were gonna do new, man. Chad Gable, sure, or his alleged son, Jason Jordan. Sure. Whatever.
to me, if you're gonna be the caliber of Randy Orton, you need to face a guy that's been a multi-time world champion. You just can't be a good worker. You need somebody really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that about wraps it up then, huh? Yeah. Not too bad. Are you guys exhausted? I'm exhausted.
I'm tired.
We're not
tired as
exhausted.
shit.
We're not exhausted. You know what's really going to exhaust us? The amount of effort and the amount of...
Oh, boy. Is this the announcement? We're making the announcement.
We're making the announcement. The amount of effort we're going to put into the very first semi-annual pro wrestling sports entertainment Marquee Awards. And that's a working title in progress. We don't know what we're going to call it.
Longer from here.
It's only going to get longer. We're going to have next week. What's the date on that? Saturday,
July
15th.
15th, yes.
July 15th, the very first semi-annual Marking Out Awards.
So,
we're calling them the Markies.
Are you saying this is the Marquee Awards presented by the Marking Out Network?
Yes.
For the professional wrestling on the professional wrestling podcast?
Yes. All that.
Wow, that is...
Yes.
I can't wait. To be
yes,
honest.
we're going to work out that title. We're going to work out a lot of stuff, but we're going to have a bunch of different categories. We're going to have a lot of special shit that you guys are going to be fucking amazed with. Smoke is excited for the Markies, man. The Markies. This is the mid-year Marquee Awards, right? We're going to cover everything, lots of shit, and we're going to have a lot of special surprises in store. We might even have a special guest. Who knows? Got to wait and find out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, shit is right. That's the episode.
Holy shit.
That's
Holy
shit. That's the episode. You guys done? I'm tired.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
We're
It's
done.
been a long-ass day. Hey, you can find us at PodMarkingOut on all of your social medias. I'm at 99 Dean Walker. He is at
I'm
Cardell
not nowhere else.
Go ahead and DM my boy over there.
Don't DM me.
You should promote the show.
Don't DM me. You're gonna get your feelings hurt.
By the way, we're on Threads now, too.
They on
You
Threads.
signed us up for Threads? Is it at PodMarkingOut?
Same.
We're at PodMarkingOut on Threads. Go ahead and hit us up there.
Hit them up.
Or don't.
I feel like I'm cheating on Twitter when I'm using Threads. We just started it. We have like 2 followers, but that's okay. We'll figure it out.
That's 2 whole people. Think about that. That's important. You know, you guys are important. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
See ya.